Well, hello, Raider Nation. This is Raider Sparks coming at you with another episode of the Raider Roster Report. And welcome Dylan Parham to the Las Vegas Raiders. Excited to have Dylan join the team. Let's get into the draft pick here, everybody. But please like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the pick. Maybe your thoughts overall. But I just wanted to do a quick video tonight. I know you all heard a lot about the draft pick so far, and so I don't want to go too long with it, but I just wanted to kind of talk about it. So first of all, I was Dylan Parham is I think he's going to be a great player. I think he's going to be a starter at one of the guard spots. I mean, let's just be blunt about that. So that's kind of where I see him going is right away starting for the Las Vegas Raiders. Um, Obviously, I did my top 30 visits. I didn't have him in there, mainly because I talked myself out of my own self. Because a month ago, I did four guards that I thought would be perfect fits for the Raiders: Cam Jorgens, Zach Tom, Dylan Parham, and Logan Bruce. My top 30 visits, I did Zach Tom and Logan Bruce because I thought they were guys we could get. Cam George, I didn't think we could get him, and he did go before. And then Dylan Parham, I left him off. Just second guess myself. I don't know why, but I think I went. I talked about it the other day. As I went with Sawyer out of Georgia just because he did the visit and there was so much hype. And I even said that I'm just going to go with the hype on this one. So, anyways, knowledge for next time. I'll just stay with my gut, go with that. But anyways, the Raiders did. They stayed with their gut. They stayed true to who they are. They took their guards, and I did a full profile a month ago too about the type of guards that they get, and it's pretty obvious. It's 6'3" and below is, or 6'3" and maybe a little change, but that's basically it. So, and that's really where Dylan Parham comes into play at. He's 6'2" and 5'8". He's 3'11", so their typical interior lineman for the Patriots was around 302. He's 3'11", but he played at 285. So, and the one thing I did mention on my last video about Dylan Parham is I didn't really like him at the Senior Bowl. He was getting bull rushed, and I kind of didn't like that. So I'm concerned, but he's obviously put on a lot of weight and muscle. So I think he probably recognized that as well. I don't know how much he put on between the Senior Bowl and the Combine, but definitely from the season to the Combine, he put on about 25 pounds. So that's really good. And he stayed super athletic. So obviously he's got he likes his craft. Like he worked on his body through his time, and I think that's very commendable. That's maybe one of the reasons why we took him at pick 90. And I should mention too, I love the trade back. Yeah, get that extra fifth pick, and I kind of commented a bunch of times how I felt like we were going to get an extra later round pick, and we already have done that. If we keep it or not, if we trade back up, I don't know, but we definitely went right for it. So, anyways, I think it's great. I think it fits right in the profile, and I should have had him on my top deal too, but definitely concerned about the bull rush though, and I made comment about that in the last one. I'm not the only one that has said that, but watching it. But I will say this for myself, even watching, I watched him at center at the Senior Bowl at the 101s. He was doing center, and he's never played that, so I guess that's it. But all my profiles, I had players with multiple positions, and he's no different. So he played. Let's see here. 2018, he played 2018-19 left guard, 2020 right tackle, and 2021 right guard. So, and he gave up last year no sacks, two hurries on 545 pass pro snaps. So, I mean, you can't get much better than that. Just got to get his anchor. I think that's his biggest thing. But anyways, as far as the measurables go, typically Patriots interior lineman would be a 32 5/8 arms. He's 33. So no problem there. Hand size, the typical would be 9/7/8. He's 10 and a quarter, so you got bigger hands. The 45-4, he's a 4.93/40, which is awesome. Vert 29 is the typical 26.5, so he doesn't have that vert, but he's got the broad jump. Typically they're at 103, he's at 108. Short shuttle 4.69, he's at 4.70, so he's right there. And three cone 7.71, and he's at 7.78. And bench press 25, and he's at 25. So I mean the measurables are there, the height's there. I mean if you go back through, and I did this on the show too. I went back through a bunch of the Patriots. None of their interior offensive linemen were over or above 6'4" or at 6'4". Everybody's 6'3" and change or below, and so that's pretty much what they do, and they stayed true to form. I should have stayed true to form in my prediction on that. I had it last month, But I switched just, and I even commented about it. Like I said, it's just the chalk. I went with all the hype and everything else, and just got caught up as a fan. But that's okay. We're right on the mark with that, and I still have Zach Tom to go on my prediction list. And you never know, we might take another lineman because he fits the profile. And actually, I did one more. Um, a center out of Washington. I forget his name right now, but anyways, we'll look for him too. If that comes up, I'll definitely point it out to you guys. you know, but definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. It's interesting because if we look at the current roster, so for tackles 6'5" and 3/8, we've got Leatherwood is 6'5". The typical weight is 316 for a Patriot tackle, which is misleading because we all know that the right tackles are way heavier than their left tackles. So, but Leatherwood's 312. So I said it many times. I think they had him put on weight or having to put on weight. Hand size 9 and 5/8 is a typical. He's at 9.5. 33 and 5/8 arms. He's at 33 and 7/8. So he's got that. 524, 40. He's at 501. So he's got that. 29 and a half for 34 and a half for Leatherwood. He's got that. 103 for broad jump. He's at 118. 475 short shuttle. He's at 4765, so he's got that. And 775 three cone. He's at 745. So here's the alarm bell. So the 26 bench reps is their typical. He didn't do any bench press pro day or combine. I think that might have been the issue last year, and I know he's been in the gym working hard. I just see him as our right tackle next year, point blank, because he, the they're going to remake this line. The interior line is going to be completely different. Maybe not this year, but next. And they're going to go back to that 6-3. They just did it with their draft, and they've done it too in free agency. One of the first guys they signed, or the first two guys they signed, was Jordan Meredith, who's 6'3", 302. He's the exact number the Patriots get, right? So I look for him. I mean, don't be surprised on that. And then who's another guy that they signed? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, they signed. Oh, well, Lester Cotton's 6'3" and a half, but he's 336, and he doesn't have anywhere near the agility. I should go back to Jordan Meredith real quick. He's 6'3", 302, 31 arms, so it's a little small, but 10-inch hands. That's good. 5'11". So that's way under the 40 time 32 vert, which is under the vert needed. 109, very explosive. So 462 is under what's needed to be a Patriot for the short shuttle. On 7401, three cone is also under, and he's at 25 bench reps, and which is exactly the number. So they signed Jordan Meredith very early on the process, and that is exactly why they signed him. Is those exact measurements? It's similar measurements to Dylan Parham, and it's almost identical to the typical Patriot interior offensive lineman. So that signing was no accident. We'll just go with that. And do you look at the Patriots typical back to the tackle? So Leatherwood 6'5". He's got all the other measurables except for maybe the hand. Good 6'5", 340, which we all know the Patriots like heavier right tackles. 437, so a little slow on the 40, but 31 vert. He's got that. 103 broad jump. He's got that. 489, so a little higher than you'd like to see. An 805 three cone. 23 reps, so close, right? So good is definitely a candidate to be our right tackle. Simpson, 6'4", 321. That doesn't meet any of the criteria for the Patriots. 487 short shuttle at 803. Three cone does not meet the requirements. He does have the 40 times right at the number though, 524. And the vert and the broad jump are over the needed mark, and 34 bench press. So he's got some of it, but not all of it. And like I said, there hasn't been there basically is no. Maybe there was one or two, but the interior line is below 6'4". So I don't know. It doesn't look good for Simpson. Let's put it that way. Andre James is 6'4", and actually he might be a touch under, so he might actually qualify. I didn't see the pro day, but he's very close. But at 299, that meets the criteria. 32-inch arms is a little short. 10-inch hands, he's got that. So 532, 40. It's a little slower, but he's got the vert 29, which is good. 105 on the broad jump, which is good. No problem there. 484 on the short shuttle, which is a little slower than the typical, and 8, which is also slower on the three cone and 21 reps. So I'm not saying Andre James is going there because they reworked his contract, so I think they see enough of him. But we need to see. And then Alex Bars, I thought he was brought in for a backup center or guard. I wasn't really sure. He's really versatile, but I should mention Jordan Meredith is a little bit of center too, so just keep that in mind. Uh, and Andre James was a tackle, so keep that in mind too. Alex Bars, 6'5", though. I think he 334. I think he came in to compete for that right tackle spot. Jermaine Illuminor, 6'3.5", so he's a little shorter, but 345. 5'22", so he's got the 40, 28.5 vert, 103 on the broad jump, 490, so it's not bad. And it's but 774 cone is right on the number, and 34 in the bench press. So look for Jermaine Illuminor to seriously compete for that right tackle spot. But he's also got the height and some of the other measurables for guard as well. So I could see why Jermaine Illuminor. And then Brandon Parker's 6'7.5", 320, 5'37", so a little slow, but 28.5 on the broad jump, so he qualifies. 4'6'8", short shuttle. So he's good there. 7.82 cone, which is good. I don't know what his bench was, but you can see there why they brought him back as a swing tackle, and because of those agilities, and he does have he just doesn't quite have the straight line, but he does have the agilities and everything else. So, uh, and then Brett Hagee, let's see here, 6'4", 310, and I think he might be a touch under, but that's no accident. 550, but 26 in the broad jump or vertical, 105 broad jump, 469 short shuttle, which is right on the number, and 766 cone. So Brett Hagee was no accident bringing him in either. He's a center. So keep those, what I thought were just irrelevant signings, really are not. If you really break down the profile, and this Dylan Parham pick kind of brings it to light what we have on our team. We have 13 linemen, and Brett Hagee and Jordan Meredith fit the profile very, very well for interior linemen, more so than what we're doing already. So keep that in mind. And then obviously Dylan Parham, he's going to be a starter at one of the guard spots, my opinion. Illuminor meets the qualification. He's a little heavier, but I think they like him at tackle. So it's going to be a big time battle, and just kind of watch. I don't know if we're done selecting linemen either. So let's see what we do next. That we gain that extra pick. So, anyways, let me know your thoughts. I'm kind of bummed that I talked myself out. A month ago, I had Parham. I talked myself out of it because of all the hype and the meetings and everything else. Should have just stayed with my gut, but oh well. I'm not the GM, so it doesn't matter. But I think we got a good player here. I think he's a starter for us. And yeah, that's all I got for you. But really keep an eye on some of these other guys. Some of these other signings we made were for a reason, because they meet the profile. And now it's just up to the competition in camp and see who wins out. And that's all I got. Raider Nation, have a good one. Big day tomorrow. We got all those picks tomorrow, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I will talk to you next time.